If you're in love with someone who has an avoidant attachment style, you've probably noticed how much they value their independence. The idea of commitment can seem like a distant dream, or even a forbidden topic. You might wonder if they'll ever be ready to settle down, or if your desire for a deeper connection will always feel out of reach. But here's the truth. Avoidants aren't incapable of commitment. They simply approach it differently, and understanding their perspective is the key to moving forward. In this video, we'll explore how to create the kind of relationship where an avoidant feels safe committing, without pushing them further away. To understand how to help an avoidant commit, you first need to recognize why the idea of commitment feels so daunting to them. For avoidants, relationships often bring up fears of losing control, autonomy, or emotional safety. Commitment can feel like stepping into a space where their independence is threatened, or where they might be overwhelmed by their partner's needs. This fear often stems from past experiences. Maybe they grew up in an environment where emotional closeness felt suffocating, or where vulnerability was met with rejection or judgment. As a result, they learned to prioritize self-reliance and to keep others at a distance to protect themselves. When the topic of commitment arises, it can trigger these old fears, leading them to pull back or shut down. Despite their fears, avoidants often crave love and connection just like anyone else. They want a relationship where they feel valued and accepted, but they also need to feel that their independence won't be compromised. For them, commitment isn't about giving up their freedom, it's about finding a balance where they can have both connection and space. What they might never say outright is that they need reassurance that commitment won't mean losing themselves. They want to feel like their boundaries will be respected and that the relationship will enhance their life rather than limit it. When you can show them that commitment doesn't have to be overwhelming, they're much more likely to consider it. The first step in encouraging an avoidant partner to commit is to shift your focus from convincing them to creating an environment where they feel safe and understood. Avoidants are highly attuned to pressure, and any hint of being pushed can make them retreat. Instead of framing commitment as an ultimatum or a problem to solve, approach it as a conversation about shared goals and values. When talking about the future, keep things open and non-threatening. For example, instead of saying, "Why won't you commit to me?" you could try, "I've been thinking about what we both want long-term. How do you see things for us?" This approach invites them into the conversation without making them feel cornered. It also gives them the space to express their thoughts and feelings at their own pace. Respecting their need for space is another crucial element. Avoidants often need time to process their emotions, especially when it comes to something as significant as commitment. By giving them that time without pressuring them for answers, you're showing that you trust them to make decisions in their own way. At the same time, it's important to maintain your own boundaries and needs. Let them know what you're looking for in a relationship, but frame it as something you're exploring together rather than a demand. For instance, saying, "I'd love for us to grow together and eventually build something long-term. What do you think about that?" Signals your intentions while giving them the freedom to engage in the conversation. One of the biggest mistakes you can make with an avoidant partner is pushing too hard or too fast. Avoidants often interpret pressure as a sign that their boundaries aren't being respected, which can reinforce their fears about commitment. Instead, focus on building trust and emotional safety over time. Consistency, patience, and mutual respect are far more effective than ultimatums or constant questioning. Another common pitfall is trying to fix them or their attachment style. Avoidants aren't broken. They simply have a different way of relating to intimacy. When you approach the relationship with an attitude of acceptance rather than judgment, it creates a foundation where commitment feels like a natural step rather than a forced one. As much as you might love your avoidant partner, it's essential to be honest with yourself about whether the relationship is meeting your needs. If you find yourself waiting endlessly for them to commit or compromising your own happiness in the process, it's worth considering whether the dynamic is truly serving you. Commitment is a two-way street, and both partners need to feel valued and fulfilled. Sometimes giving them space to work through their fears can lead to growth and a deeper connection. But other times, the healthiest choice is recognizing when their fear of commitment is incompatible with your desire for a long-term relationship. Prioritizing your own well-being is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of self-respect. Helping an avoidant partner commit isn't about convincing them. It's about creating a relationship where commitment feels safe and natural. By understanding their fears, respecting their need for space, and communicating your own needs with empathy, you can build a connection that balances love and independence. And remember, the best relationships are partnerships where both people feel seen, valued, and respected. If you'd like to explore more about attachment styles and how to navigate challenging relationship dynamics, I've written several books that dive into these topics and provide practical tools for creating healthier connections. You'll find the links to those in the description below. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share your experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear from you.